All right, every man on planet Earth is going to be jealous of me sitting next to this woman. I am with a Bond girl, Caroline Munro. She was in The Spy Who Loved Me, and bad girl. You were a bad one.
I was such a bad girl in that, but it was so much fun.
With Richard Keel, I mean, Dawes. Yeah, I mean, that was one of my favorite. Most men, they love Sean Connery, and he was great. But Roger Moore was always my favorite Bond.
Oh, he will always be forever my Bond. And sadly, we lost him nearly 2 years ago now. And he was just an amazing, wonderful, charismatic, funny, charming, self-deprecating, professional man. He was wonderful to work with. I feel very honored that I worked with him.
He was an elegant Bond, and he had this beautiful twinkle in his eye. I don't know what it was about. So many guys, including my husband, they love Connery, but for me, Roger Moore was it, and so that yours was my favorite Bond movie. And I told you earlier, and I've changed my password since then. Anyone who wants to hack me, but all of my passwords used to be 007. All of them had 007. I love Bond. Yeah, I'm a big.
You really do.
I really, really do. Yes.
Listen, if you're looking at this now, Bond girl material or what? I mean,
I could be Grandma Bond.
oh, please.
I will be a Grandma Bond.
Grandma Bond, I'm great granny.
You're not. No, you are forever a Bond girl. Oh my gosh! And I'm looking at your pictures right now, and just looking at
Long way. Vintage.
but I mean, Bond girl. There's just a tiny group of you in this world, and I mean, it's like it's true. It's really true.
Yeah, actually, it is kind of true, isn't it? I hadn't really thought about it. But they're all, when we go to shows, things like this, or we just meet, and a lot of my really close friends, one of my best friends is Martine Beswick, and she was in Thunderball. And, I mean, so many of them are extraordinary women, all different, all look different, all think differently, and are all such strong, empowered, wonderful women. I love that. It's like a bond, I don't know, what do you call it?
You bond.
We bond, boy do we bond, yes, we really do. We do, really well.
But now we're here at this Western Film Festival, and you were in a movie with Richard Widmark. You played his daughter, and I have to write it down, Gun Crazy.
That's right. Gun Crazy, or the original title, it was from a Richard Condon book called A Talent for Loving, but in America I think they changed it to Gun Crazy, and it was with Cesar Romero. He played my grandfather. Topol, he was in Fiddler on the Roof, fabulous actor, and Richard Widmark was my dad. So how lucky was I? I was very young.
Well, no, and we found out this morning that we have a mutual friend, Chris Mitchum. Hey, Chris, if you're anywhere, I'm going to put this on Facebook, and I'll make sure and tag him. Chris Mitchum. Hey, Chris.
Hi, Chris. Do you remember Paris, Les Prédateurs de la Nuit? That was Faceless. Do you remember that? Remember you had to come and rescue me in that awful place, that prison. I mean, in the film. So yeah, he was extraordinary, wonderful actor.
Say that again.
What?
The title of that film.
Les Prédateurs de la Nuit. That's night predators, faceless.
Les Prédateurs de la Nuit.
The predators of the night. So that's what we were. So yeah.
I just butchered that, but boy, you did.
You were so charming. You're so sweet. She's lovely, isn't she? She's so good. She is.
There you go. I think you've said that one of your favorite movies was. Look how big I wrote. I write so big because I can't see. The Golden Voyage of Sinbad.
I did like that one. No, that was a very special film. Partly because I got to work with Ray Harryhausen, who to me is the godfather of special effects, and so say James Cameron, Spielberg, Tim Burton. You know, he is like the godfather. He really is, or was, of special effects. But also I got to work with John Philip Law, who was, if anybody saw Barbarella, he was the blind angel, the beautiful blind angel in Barbarella, and Tom Baker, who's an English, he played Doctor Who. I think you know Doctor Who over here. He's one of the original Doctor Who's. So I got to work with those extraordinary men in Spain. We shot it all in Spain, and it was all stop motion, which is a real exciting medium to work with. It's not like your CGI. There's nothing, everything is kind of done before your eyes. It's all kind of practically done. And then Ray adds his creatures, his wonderful creatures on top of that. So it's
All those fighting skeletons.
Yes, that's right. And we had a she was called Kali. She was a 6-armed goddess in that. And it was, I loved it. You pretend, I think as an actor, and I know you've done a lot of stuff too.
Not, yeah, well.
But for me, it's sort of like being a sponge. You have to kind of sponge and remember how you were as a child and how everything was make-believe. And it was make-believe, but it was so real when you were a child. So I think if you can kind of get back to that childlike innocence, if you want, and then it's the first time. I'm not making myself really clear. I'm still in jet lag, excuse me. I am still suffering from jet lag, but...
All right, and I wanted to ask you too, what would be your dream role out of the whole world if you could have played any part or any female character? What would that be? Who would she be?
Obviously, I'm not the right age now, but if I was, one of my favorite female strong characters would be Boadicea or Boudica, who was the first warrior queen in 898 in Britain. True queen, true warrior queen. She had her daughters. She rode on a chariot. True story. So Boudica or Boadicea. If you look her up, Boudica would be my choice. She rode along with bows and arrows, and you had the Romans there. It's a real amazing story of what she did.
I've never heard of that. You could be in Game of Thrones too.
I would love to be in Game of Thrones.
I just pictured you. You wouldn't be an old crone. Did you just say?
Yes, I said.
You just said an old crone. You're not an old crone. No, I could see you as a part, though.
I'd love to have done that.
It's not. They're still doing it, so you could still do it.
Still doing it, but there's a lot of nakedness. And
well, we don't need to. You can ignore.
We don't do naked. I've never done naked, but I certainly at my age. But no. But no, that would be Game of Thrones would be amazing.
Caroline Munro, you are such a cool lady, and I'm so happy to know you. And I'm going to be friends with you forever, okay?
Oh, I want you to. I so do. You're as beautiful inside as you are out, and she really is. She really is.
Don't edit that part out, okay? Victory Television.
Barbara Broccoli, Bond producer, my friend. Bond lady. Absolutely. Nobody does it better.